Have you ever peered into the night sky in the hope of spotting a shooting star in this infinite darkness, or else a UFO or another sign that would indicate that we're not alone in the universe? Throughout history, man has been keen on the idea of noticing a sign of any kind that would show that we're not the only ones in the space. It could be discovering light after a stretch of darkness, stumbling upon life forms at the deepest point of the planet, or finding an ally in the farthermost corner of the universe. But is it possible, or does absolute nothingness pervade all around us? The first in the space. For most people, the universe is infinite space, which the human brain is incapable of imagining. Thanks to the basic knowledge received at school, most of us see the space as a more or less clear structure of galaxies, planets, and constellations. But is this notion quite accurate? The universe conceals a staggering number of mysteries, and it might take centuries to get to the bottom of even one of them. Imagine how much time it would take an ant to nail the principles of market-based economy, or the amount of time sufficient for a fish to understand the structure of a plane. Scientists encountered the first riddle of this kind back in 1978, when they discovered a phenomenon that did not fit into the accepted notions about the universe at the time. About 700 million light-years away from the Earth, a mysterious phenomenon was discovered by American scientists in the direction of the Botez constellation. It was dubbed supervoid. Let's see the chronology. 1961. The astronomers' community's attention is drawn to pre-large structural elements like accumulations of the second order. 1978. The first two theses are published on the subject of voids in a large-scale structure, where voids are mentioned discovered in front of the Northern Hemisphere constellation of Berenice's Hare. 1981. The first large void is discovered in the Botez constellation. Right, hold on a moment. And now in detail. Isn't the universe comprised of a structure of planets and galaxies equally distributed around the space? What are these voids then, and where do they come from? I bet it's a similar question the scientists were asking themselves in 1981. At that time, the universe was perceived as a sort of canvas, filled completely with constellations and galaxies. The image of unfathomable sky was as straightforward as a Euclid's axiom. Stars are grouped in galaxies, and galaxies coalesce, thus forming gravitationally interdependent accumulations. Neighboring galaxies are comparatively close to each other by the space standards, and the voids between them are insignificant, thus rendering them not worthy of astrophysicists' close attention. A wrong one here. Has the universe ever been simple, what with its great attractors, black holes, wormholes, and other mysterious occurrences? In 1981, astronomer Robert Kirshner and his team discovered a shocking phenomenon that was dubbed the Botez void, or the Great Nothing. The phenomenon was an enormous spherical region with a rather small number of galaxies. Most of the space was filled with absolutely nothing. A great nothing, which was impossible in the accepted perception of the universe. It made one assume that for some reason the formation of galaxies was prevented by something in this region, or else this something covered them from the scientists' view. With a similar universe density, not less than 10,000 galaxies would be expected there. Only 8, however, were discovered by the scientists. The odd region was about 700 million light-years away from the Earth. with the void 330 million light-years in diameter, which is 0.27% of the diameter of the observable universe. The Boötes void instantly attracted the attention of scientists from all over the world, and the search for galaxies within the void became a sort of competition among astronomers. In 1988, 3 more galaxies were discovered by scientists. Then there were 15 in 1989. 1993 heralded the number of 27 known galaxies. In 1997, the score stopped at 60 galaxies. But this still did not look enough. During the 40 years of its existence, the mysterious void has kept attracting astrophysicists. The first riddle that puzzled the scientists lay in the fact that galaxies never went into the void, but bounced off. Does it ring a bell? Maybe some sort of a white hole is concealed there in the infinite darkness. Scientists are still uncertain as to the origin of the Boötes void. In computer models, little voids are formed when galaxies merge and leave their place. But it doesn't account for the Boötes void. Galaxies would not have enough time to vacate space for the voids to form. Taking into account the age of the universe and the speed with which it expands, the size of the void would grow tens of millions of light-years, but not hundreds. The Boötes void is too great to fit these calculations. That is why a new theory was conceived. According to some scientists, large voids are formed by smaller ones, just like a big soap bubble is formed by smaller bubbles. The way the galaxies are arranged in the Boötes void could be indicative of just this. They're in a row, and this could be the remains of 2 voids that once coalesced. There are other numerous theories as well. Perhaps you also have a hypothesis as to what could be concealed in the void. Please leave your comment. Even though studying this phenomenon is a complicated task, the Boötes void is just the first stage of studying voids in the space. Scientists have by now lost count as to how many voids there really are in the space today. Voids account for a large portion of the universe, and their main feature is their mystery. It is not even clear how they came about. They are conventionally believed to form when parts of matter blend and vacate space. In theory, voids were small in the early universe, and later on they expanded. But so far, no general rules of void distribution have been formulated. Scientists estimate them to occupy half of the universe, or even most of it, up to 90%. Mikhail Anisimov wrote, "The void is a desert, an ideal vacuum where particles of matter travel through millions of light-years without collision or change. The void is a repository of motionless time for them. There, the time stands still. Indeed, just imagine, hundreds of light-years of absolute nothingness, darkness and cold, where time is virtually non-existent. From the technical point of view, this void is not supposed to exist, as contemporary theories admit of only much smaller unfilled spaces. The dimensions of this void monster alone need fresh theories, among which those of the wackiest variety, like alien interference or something worse. Science does not stand still, but the real world keeps feeding us with new riddles, paradoxes and inconsistencies. We just have to accept the rules of the game to keep playing and try yet another time to understand how it all works. That's all, dear friends. Like this video if you were at least mildly interested. Subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss new videos about mysterious phenomena in the space, and leave comments about this video, what was exciting or maybe made you feel terrified, like it did me. Thanks for watching, keep in touch.